Hello, everybody. This is David Thomas. This is Bill Anderson, and we're here to do something that we've never done before, Bill. I got to
Get that thing up there.
thing up there. We are doing our very first ever Meet the Candidates live. Most of the time, everybody sits down and we record.
Mhm.
That way, we can look back at it, edit, make sure everything's said right. But we're going just live at 5.
Live at 5.
All
I've
right,
never been
so-
live. I'm nervous.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, we're kind of used to doing this,
Right.
Bill, and this is
Hey,
just
but
a
I may
natural-
say something today live that maybe if we pre-recorded, I wouldn't say. Maybe more fun this way.
It is going to be more fun this way. We don't have a sponsor, so we don't have to take a sponsor break.
Bill Anderson for District 6, your sponsor.
That Bill Anderson, you're running for County Commissioner, District 6. Why don't you start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself, how long you have been in that seat, and just tell everybody
All right.
about you. There's a lot of new folks
A
around
lot
here.
of new folks around here.
So
I'm a lifelong Bedford County resident, lifelong District 6. I've lived there my whole life in the district. I've served on the county commission for 12 years. Education, 1988, I graduated from Shelbyville Central High School. In 1990, I graduated with an associate's degree from Montlow in accounting and business administration. In 92, I graduated from Middle Tennessee State University with a bachelor's degree in business administration and marketing. And during college, late 80s, I worked radio, as you may remember, David. I did the Eagle and Eagleette games in the 80s and 90s. And I worked at a lot of other different places in radio, did that for years. And I worked in sales. I owned my own business for over 20 years, traveled 4 states. You know how that is. That's a lot of fun.
What
on
did you
the road.
do? Tell everybody
I
what
had
you
a
did.
school supply business,
School
and you would leave
supplies,
on
yeah.
Sunday, come home on Friday. And
Yeah,
it was rough.
grueling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a little time off in the summer, but the
Yeah.
rest of it wasn't very
Yeah.
hot. My wife's Dr. Andrea Anderson, right here in town. She's a school board member, has been in District 6 for 14 years. And we've been married 28 years. My daughter's name is Julia, and she was a SCHS cheerleader.
All right.
Now
Yeah.
she's a senior at
Yeah.
MTSU,
That's wild. isn't it?
graduating in communications. Seems like
A
this is
senior.
yesterday. Yeah.
You are the father of a senior in college.
college.
That's bad.
That we used to have to come up here to do promo
you
stuff.
are
for us
you
and
are
voiceovers.
officially
old.
old. Yeah.
You ain't telling me nothing I don't know.
All right. What
Absolutely
else, Bill?
not.
What else?
Well, it gotten out of the radio part of it. I'm also the manager at Shelbyville Animal Hospital. I'd been out of the until I got with you at Shelbyville. Now I hadn't
Yeah.
done the sports thing in a while.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that we started that sports show? I started doing. It's been 5 years.
It's been
longer.
5 years.
Every bit of it.
Yeah, off and on. Before then, when Chevrolet now started back in 2013, we did some stuff talking about commissioner business and that type of stuff along the way too.
But
I
the
remember
sports show
our-
really took off the
Yeah.
last 5 years. Though,
Yeah.
hadn't
Oh
it?
yeah.
And really got bigger. And,
Yeah.
And I think we've done some really neat stuff from the coaches shows that we were able to do, promoting kids in athletics. I think the coolest thing we did was when we got to meet the players
Oh yeah.
from the central
Yeah.
and from community,
Yeah.
get to know the kids. Who's your mama? Who's your daddy?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was good for the kids to get on here. You remember how scared some of them have been?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then after the
And when they're
second
through, they're like,
time,
oh, this was neat. Well,
Yeah.
it was good to get them used to talking in front of a
Right,
camera and not having stage fright. And I think that's been a good thing that we've been able to do here. That's worked out pretty good. All right. I was elected, like I said, the county commission 12 years ago. I also served on the ag board for the last 15 years. I've been the ag board chairman for the last 8 years, since 2018. And I want to mention the ag board because the last 15 years, I'm going to mention 3 guys: David Mulder, Michael Simons, George Johnson. They were there before me. We've done some really good stuff, that ag center out there, from that grant that we got to fix that floor building to Mark Clanton working with us, and his guys are just awesome. The place looks better than it did.
right.
We've got brand new tables and chairs. And then we tried to do something called a bathroom.
A bathroom.
And we went to the USDA again, tried to get a grant. The mayor and everybody, we all worked at it. It's about a Jeff Swinney will tell you this, about a $25,000 bathroom.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
$256,000 when the government got through with us.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. Bringing it to a point. I want to give my hats off to the fair board. They got a grant from the state of Tennessee for the fairs. And the fair, by the way, starts July 13th through the 18th. And JD and Kyle Robinson and their whole board secured a grant. And they've upgraded the lighting, the electrical system, replaced all the bleachers. We're going to assist them with matching funds that Ag Center Fund is. The Ag Board's going to support them as well. City of Shelbyville gave them $7,500 of a tourism grant. But here's what I'm saying the difference is. These fine folks have probably done $150,000, $200,000 worth of work for about 40 grand.
Yeah.
Because they don't have government attached to them, unfortunately.
Right.
It's going to be part of the thing today. You see the word government, the price goes up.
And you see bureaucracy and you see all kinds of mess. I bet it take 2 or 3 times longer too.
You've got these people, you've got vendors and sponsors that they've got that, well, that you'll pay them for this. Well, can I help you and do this, this, and this?
Yeah.
And everybody's pitched in. It's just so nice and neat to see.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome. This fair ought to be great. It's good to see the facility getting built up, getting the fair better.
Yeah.
I want to commend Helen Raby, the facility manager. It would take 3 employees to replace her. She does a great job of keeping the grounds up, and she always has. Back to the other, I also serve as the co-chair of the Rules and Legislative Committee. I've been there 7 years, and I used to serve for 5 years on the Law Enforcement Committee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm on.
So you've been on 3 different committees. Since
no, 2 different committees.
Two committees.
So 5 years and 7.
5 and
I'm
7.
the co-chair
Okay.
and Chairman Farah on Rules and Legislative. In 12 years as a commissioner, this is a key fact for you folks out there that don't know. I have never voted for a tax increase, not once. And listen to what I'm going to tell you. And I never will as long as I'm there. It's time we quit taxing and cut spending. You can't tax your way all the time out of everything.
Right. That's
And we'll get to this in a minute, the growth of
Right.
where we're at as far as government versus private sector. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I want to talk, David, for a minute, if you don't mind, of what I think the number one job of a county commissioner is to the public.
Well, I want to ask you one thing
Yes,
before
sir.
you jump
Absolutely.
into that. And in the process of answering this, you probably will cover this. What made you decide to run for another term this time around?
You know, you and I talked about this.
Yeah.
And we'll get to it in a minute. I was thinking seriously about not running against it. I'm going to be honest with everybody out there. I heard they were offering $10,000 to somebody to run against me.
Yeah.
The PAC was. And
Yeah.
that's what made me decide to run, because I didn't want them buying the seat.
Right.
That is blunt. It's as blunt and as truthful as I can be with you.
Right.
I had really considered not running. I'd been there 12 years. And then there's a lot of people that called me and said, you're the only person that ever spoke up for me at anything.
Yeah.
A lot of senior citizens too.
Oh, I'm
You're
sure.
always there. And I
Yeah.
always answer the phone. And even in my district or out the district, I'll go back 12 years ago when I first got on here. Me and Chuck Heflin
Yeah.
were the only 2 that put their cell phone numbers out there.
Really?
The other commissioners would say, you guys are crazy. And Chuck and I both said, we're elected. We need to answer the calls.
Exactly. That's what the job
They had
is.
their home numbers up there, most of them. Now it's different. Most all of them have theirs up. But
yeah.
12 years ago, that wasn't the case at all. So that was the main reason that I thought that, and you're going to have a lot of turnover right now in the commission, just people not running.
Right.
And you need to know what you're doing a little bit.
Right.
And that turnover is good, but you need something. I've been here 12 years, and trust me, I understand how it works.
Yeah.
Somebody new's not going to. But the number one job of a commissioner to me is to be a good steward of taxpayer dollars. You're here to represent the people, not special interest.
Right.
To speak up for the people who can't speak for themselves or won't, or are too intimidated to get up there. And I've said,
Right.
heard that, but you said exactly what I want. I was just scared to talk.
Right.
Well, that's my job.
Right.
Is to say what you wanted said. I don't have a problem doing that either. And you've got to represent all people, not just the
Right.
wealthy ones.
Yeah.
That's a key too. Everybody, not just the wealthy ones. Be able to say the word no. In the last 12 years, I've probably done that an awful lot, but no, never raised taxes.
That's right.
No, never hurt their neighbor's property next door
Yeah.
with something that was going to flood them or cause damage. You just say no to it. I've also been able to reach across the aisle on stuff. Everything has not always been, I sit on this side of the aisle, you sit over here, and I'll bring up one that several of the conservative people got upset with me when we had that water thing. And of course, I harped on it, but when we had to form a water board or someone to do something about these step systems, I tried to fight them
Right.
all together. When I lost, I reached across the aisle to come up with some way, if this is what we're going to do to govern it.
Right.
Had I not done that, it wouldn't have passed.
Right.
Now, if y'all remember, I'm the one that reached across the aisle on that one because it did not have the votes.
You talking about the
The
wastewater?
wastewater thing where we
yeah.
we're bringing in
Yeah.
consolidated. We would have never formed that board. And had we not, we had left ourselves open to just people walking in here and doing them with no accountability
And
whatsoever.
there's more work to do on that. too.
Absolutely, there's more, but you had to do something. And I made some
Right.
people mad on that one, but I thought that was what was in the best interest of all of us to have some sort of, hey, here's the game plan. Here's who's going to take care of it. Who's going to monitor them? The
Right.
way we were, you were just fixing to get them with no monitoring. Who was going to pay for it? You and I were going to pay for it when it failed.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this has helped with that.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard anything on it
Yeah.
lately, but that's what occasionally you just got to reach across the aisle. But too many times in the last 12 years, I have seen something that I just don't understand. You're in a room or it's a topic or you're in the room. 80% of the people are for or against something. And we turn around as a commission and vote against what 70 or 80% of the people wanted. Can
Exactly.
you explain that one to me?
I'm gonna have to let you do it since you
You
were in the
can do a
room.
poll, but you can do a poll.
yeah,
I've seen
I
your
know.
polls. And
Yeah.
they're not all the way accurate, but they're pretty close.
They're doggone close.
So if your poll says 95%, I guarantee it's 75%.
At least.
Maybe-
I'd say 95 is not too far off on some of this stuff like senior tax freeze.
Yes.
Okay.
And, but we're gonna get to that too.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you think our greatest challenge is going forward over the next 4 years?
The next 4 years, you got problems coming because of this budget that I'm going to get to in a minute. You're looking at major tax increases, I'm afraid, because of the way this whole thing was set up with the raises and the way we're spending money.
Okay.
And the appraisal thing, by the way, and I need to mention this too while we're talking about it. A lot of you all are upset about your appraisal. I'm upset about mine. You're upset about yours.
Oh, yeah.
The county commission and a lot of folks have said that they think we did it.
Yeah.
Now, that's one thing the county commission did not do. Not one commissioner, not one person in county government had anything to do with that appraisal.
No.
But people think that.
But
But
you
there
gonna
is a
set that
consequence.
rate that's tied to
Well,
that.
there's a consequence to
Yeah.
this. And when they tell me it's revenue neutral, I defy you all to go pull your stuff up when you really, I don't care how they calculate it now. Wait till you get the tax card. And I bet it's not neutral because 5 years ago, was it neutral?
Mine went up.
Mine went up.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be neutral. It's going to be an increase. It's also going to make your homeowners go up, maybe more than the taxes.
Already started.
That's already started.
Yeah.
That's bad business for everybody out there.
Yeah.
And you got everything over appraised. You're appraising things 30 and 40 years old like they're brand new.
Yeah.
Well, if your house is 30 or 40 years old, it needs work.
Yep. Yep. For sure.
And you're going to tell me it's worth what brand new's worth? I mean, come on, guys.
Well, that's kind of the way it's working.
Well,
isn't it?
it appears to me, talking to other commissioners, and that's another thing about being a commissioner a little while. I know a lot of commissioners in other counties. Talking to my guys up in Rutherford County, and theirs didn't go up like ours did. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Not the same percentages on stuff as far as the massive increases that were here
Right,
aren't
right.
there. Shouldn't it be a lot higher there?
You would think that Rutherford County would be at least 20%, 25%
I'm
higher.
just saying this.
Yeah.
Talking this.
For
what I've heard.
comparing apples to apples.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because that's not, when we compare Bedford to Rutherford, that ain't apples to apples.
No, it's not.
You compare Bedford to Marshall. You compare
Yeah.
Bedford to Giles and Lincoln County.
Right. We're comparable.
We're not
Yeah.
comparable to Rutherford County.
No.
Really, we're not comparable to Coffee County.
No, their demographics are different. They're
Totally
building
different.
different stuff. Yeah.
It's a totally different deal. But the times have changed now, David, where used to you had conservatives and liberals, or that's what we called them, or you had a government view that certain people running for commissioner had versus a business view. Well, you've worked in government all your life. I've worked in business. So that creates a difference.
Right.
Now it looks to me like, tell me where I'm wrong, that you're either going to get the PAC money here or you're not. It's a bunch of builders and construction going on here, and they're going to make more and more money. And it looks to me like they're spending an awful lot of money to take over your local government. Because they tell me, wait till you see what the city's coming next for the city. I think they're going to go even harder. David, they've given some of these candidates over $10,000 a piece for a county commission race.
Yeah. We've seen that on the reports, and we've got another report coming out.
$10,000 for a
Yeah.
job that doesn't pay you $500 a month. You don't clear $500 a month.
I know it.
Do the math.
All right. So what's up with that? What's your opinion on that? This is off
Well,
script. This is off script.
That's
So-
fine. But
so-
my opinion is, what are you doing with the money? But let me ask you this. If you are one of these candidates that's elected that takes money from, and there's a development that comes up, can you really vote on or do you not have a conflict of interest because you took all this money from these people that you either feel like you have to say yes or you're conflicted?
Tough.
I know you're trying to buy your way into nobody says no to anything, but when they all say yes, isn't that a conflict of interest?
Believe it might be.
Now-
At least it appears to be,
Well,
and that's the way you look at it. You know.
it makes it difficult on people to run. You're spending this much money. I think you would be insane to spend $10,000 on a job that doesn't pay $500 a month. I think it's crazy. I mean, I really do. But I'd like to remind the people of District 6 about, and you'll remember this too, Commissioner Adam Thomas, my fellow commissioner. And if you'll remember, they were looking on War Trace Pike at putting a bunch of development apartments on some rock.
Yep.
Solid rock. Couldn't get T-posts in the ground. And Commissioner Thomas stuck up for y'all. So did I. We went to the planning commission, went to the council, and our brothers and sisters at the city denied it and didn't take the annexation. It would have wrecked the Hillcrest subdivision. And honestly, it made some of these PAC people a little upset that we did that one. You're not supposed to say no to anything, apparently.
Exactly.
And they were upset over that one. And I'll give you another example. This wasn't even our district. Remember Longview Road? We did shows on it here.
Yep.
You
Yep.
had another piece of property that you couldn't run cattle on. Couldn't get the T-post in the ground. Talk to the farmers that had it. Couldn't run cows because you can't fence it in. But you put a bunch of houses out there, and
Yep.
the residents, none of them wanted it. None of the neighbors wanted it. You had a little creek running within 1/10 of a mile of it.
Yep.
The commission did the right thing. We turned it down, and then they found a way to do it anyway. not as a big of a scale, but went right ahead and did it anyway.
Yep.
With a piece of property, if I remember this correctly, that didn't have a perk site or one perk site on it. One, I believe.
It was going to throw a lot of water to a lot of other people too.
Yes.
That whole situation was not good. I remember we went out and interviewed folks.
Right.
And I still got my eyes on that. Some
When
just
you
don't feel
affect the
right
flow
about
of
it.
water,
Yeah.
or you blast like you're going to have to
Yeah.
here to form a foundation, and I break your foundation of your house, that's a problem.
Yep.
Now, if the flow of water goes onto your property and I flood your property, that's a problem.
Yep.
If a bunch of sewage and whatnot gets in that drinking water and pollutes your drinking water, that's a problem.
Yep.
You need to think about all these things. That's why I keep saying we don't have the infrastructure, the roads, the water resources, the schools, the power grid for high density housing. And that's what I'm all for growth. I'm not against growth. Give me a good subdivision. I'm all for it. But a bunch
The
of
key
stuff
word-
up next to each other,
The key word, good.
good growth.
Yeah.
We don't have the jobs for the people that we keep bringing in here. Looks to me like we're getting a bunch of people, and I've seen it every day. They don't have jobs. They're moved here with no job.
Yeah.
They're on disability or got another way to make money. They're not working.
Either that or they're working in Rutherford County or Williamson
And
County
doing
and they're
that.
driving.
So what do we do about jobs? Well, we gave you Duxon. And you saw how many jobs you got there. None. Spent a lot of money bringing that in here for no jobs that I'm aware of whatsoever
Yep.
for any Bedford County resident. Nothing. Spent a lot of time and money on a distillery. Looks like it's all gone too. Bye.
Yep.
No jobs.
Yep.
No jobs, but you're bringing in the people. And I mean, to me, the commission should work for people, not for a few people making lots of money.
Yep.
And it may not be popular to them, but you people out there, you work hard for your money, you work hard for your homes, and it's just in good business for me.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw another question out at you. And I always ask this. What's
Mhm.
your favorite thing about Bedford County?
It's always the answer everybody gives is the people, and I will agree with that. But it's the rolling hills of we're not Murfreesboro. We're
Right.
still Bedford County.
Right.
We've got agriculture.
Yep.
We've got a beautiful countryside. We've got rivers and lakes and creeks and streams.
Yep.
That's one of the great things about Bedford County. And the
Yep.
more you make it look like Murfreesboro, the way
Yep.
it's going away.
Or
from it.
Williamson County.
Or Williamson County, either
Yeah.
one. Look what's happened up there. Remember, you used to drive up Moore Lane and go up there, and it was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Now it's
Just one right after another.
they were the ones, by the way, that went to 5 acres to build a house way before we tried it here. Williamson County did it.
Because they saw it happen to
Buyer's
what they had.
remorse.
Yeah. Sure was.
And what's happened is these other counties have gotten smart, but it's too late for them. That's why I would love like to have seen us get on the front end of this one.
Yeah.
They're coming here because they're out these other places.
Yeah. Well, the other side of this question, what would you change? What would be one thing you could change about Bedford County? I assume it might be something like what you just said there. But if you could wave a magic wand, change anything, what would it be?
Honest to goodness, when it comes to this politics stuff, it isn't personal, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how, I know that's not changing the county, but just because you're candidate A and I'm for candidate whoever, but I don't like candidate B, why can't you just be for candidate A? And why does it have to be personal?
That's one thing.
It bothers me.
That's one thing that I see too. It sets the tone. It's hard to have a discussion like what we're having right here. Well, everybody's hair catching on fire. I mean, everybody goes crazy when you throw out a problem that we have because you want to act like there is no problem. Well, there's problems everywhere you go. You got to talk through them.
Right.
And if you can't talk through them without getting personal and having people at odds, you got something wrong. So I agree with you on that.
Well, and what you really want is you don't want any commissioner body dominated by probably the same point of view, because like Paul Parker used to say, and I like quoting him too, if you spend the money like it's your money, you'll never have a problem. But the other thing that he said that goes along the line with this one was he needed to know what the opposition was thinking to have his own opinion.
Yep.
And sometimes I feel like they don't want to hear what you want to think.
Yeah.
You're either, if you're asking questions, you're a negative, you're negative. Well, you're supposed to go along for them. We're also supposed to say, yeah.
Going along to get along creates
It's a losing situation.
mediocrity
Yes.
at best.
Right.
Your best results are going to just get by.
Yeah.
You can't be the best without some sort of process of collaboration and talking through things. You just can't do it.
No.
All right. So the last question I'm going to ask
Sure.
you, then I'm just going to turn you loose.
All right.
And this is the turn the loose question. The mic is yours, Bill. What would you want to talk about going forward as you're being a candidate? I know you got 12 years behind you.
Right.
And you're looking toward the future. What is it that you feel like we're going to be talking about the most of for the next 4 years outside of those property tax increases? What's some other issues that you want to talk
Looking at ways to cut some things that aren't going to be popular.
about? Okay.
And I'm going to make some people upset here too. That's okay. And this is just an idea, and I threw it up before. And it was a couple of elections ago. I did the election with you.
Right. Yeah.
One of our ambulance people called upset because I'd mentioned this in. This is just one idea. But eventually, we can't keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
You cannot continue to grow the government here when your economy is not growing with your government.
Right.
It's not.
It's out.
sustainable.
Yeah. Your
And I've been
government's
saying that
out.
for a long
Your
time.
government's outrunning your.
But take the ambulance
demographics.
service. It's
Yeah.
$6.5 million now.
Yeah.
Now you supposedly you could run it for 1.2 to 1.5. You could say 4, but I think it may bring in $1 million, $1.5 million. That's still a substantial savings if you needed money.
Right.
That and other things that you could look into doing. Because at the end of the day, I just don't know that government does things as efficiently. I know it doesn't, as the private sector does.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's always going to cost more too.
And eventually, and that's just going to get to the other thing I'd want to change is I wish we could go back on that senior tax freeze. Guys, we've got seniors out here eating dog food.
Yeah.
I mean, senior citizens that are proud, that won't ask for help. They won't go to the senior citizen center. They're just having to make do.
They're having to make a choice between paying for their drugs that they have to have,
Right.
or medical care of some sort versus paying their property taxes.
And it's just a lot of these people, they've earned their time.
Yeah.
What are they getting for the money they're giving? What service are they getting?
Not much. They're not
not getting
they don't
much.
have a big footprint as far as it goes on their cost for the government. There's just not much there. They don't have kids in school. They might have to use an ambulance, but usually an older couple or an older person, they're not going to be causing problems with the law.
Well, they told us that we couldn't do the senior
Yeah.
tax freeze because we didn't want to hinder future commissions with a burden of this.
What
cost.
kind of burden are we talking about
question.
here? So,
This is a great question.
okay.
You don't want to hinder. Okay. So instead of doing that, and we don't have the money, and we don't want to hinder future commissions, but I'll hinder you with giving a 5% raise to people that make 6 figures.
Yeah.
That ain't going away, folks. There's some county employees, and I'm not against county employees, I'm not at all. But the ones making $90,000, $100,000, $150,000, 5% is a lot more than you're making 40.
Yeah.
We did it 4 or 5 years ago, whatever year it was. We had to tax it. We raised your taxes
2018,
for
wasn't it?
2018. That was when it was where the big tax
No,
increase.
let's see. No, it was 2021.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Diane, all them were up there, and we had the big battle and brouhaha. It was to give away raises in.
Yeah.
Well, here you are facing a lawsuit with the city. We don't know how it's going to come out. That would have been one reason you could have gave me on the senior tax freeze. Let's wait and see how this plays out. And that would have been an argument I'd listen to. I didn't hear that argument. Did you?
No.
But I'm going to give away raises. Can't do a tax freeze. And I still don't know what's happening with that lawsuit.
Yeah. What is the
What does happen? If you lose, where are you going to make that money up?
I mean-
once you do the raises, do the maintenance and efforts, you can't take them back. Why couldn't we have done a bonus?
where we're at right now? It seems like that the city has the upper hand on that based on the last report that was given publicly. I don't know what's going on now.
Well, but give a bonus. It's not you do the
Yeah.
raise, you're tied in, do the maintenance of effort.
Yeah.
Maintenance of effort's the worst thing that ever came about ever.
Yeah.
And it's going to put a lot of places in government entities bankrupt.
Oh yeah, it's
Broke.
headed that way. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't. I've got a question for you, David. Maybe y'all can do a little investigating for me. How many government employees make over $100,000 in Bedford County? I've asked that question. Does anybody know? If you do, let me know.
I'm gonna say I would have to look, but you can go to the comptroller's office, and I'm gonna say 20 to 25 at
I'm going
least.
to say it maybe more.
Probably
Definitely
probably
more
so.
if you include everybody in the school system and all that. which-
Right. Oh yeah, yeah. That no doubt. Then no doubt. You're probably up in 30s or 40s.
Another thing I want to mention too is you and Brent Smith did a show, and Brent's right about talking about line item voting.
Right.
Okay, you cannot line item the sheriff, the school system, or the road superintendent. However, you can line item the rest. So ask yourself a question: why don't we do that?
You tell me why.
I'm
don't
going to tell you right
Tell
now.
me.
Why? You ready?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't give myself a raise or my spouse a raise because it says I can't unless I bundle it all together and don't line item. State says blatantly, you as a commissioner cannot give yourself or your spouse a raise. But if you bundle it, it's okay.
And when you say give them a raise, that means you're voting on a budget that would have a raise
for
in it.
you,
Right.
it specifically you,
Right.
a family
My
member,
job.
or your spouse, or
Right.
whatever,
I would have to recuse myself and not
from the
vote.
vote.
All right.
But if you bundle it, it's okay to vote. You don't even have to read it anymore. Well, it's either wrong or it isn't. I mean,
What's the ethical thing to do?
not vote. I mean, it's not, you shouldn't be voting yourself pay raise on taxpayer money. I'm sorry. Government just keeps raising price. If a business kept raising prices, you go bankrupt.
If you're not competitive, if you don't provide a service for what you're giving or a product for what you're charging, yeah, you do.
Now, my last thing I'm gonna get to was this budget.
It
actually came for the vote.
It just happened. So
just happened, and I gave my little. And what I said was, "Hey guys, here's why I'm voting no," and it was basically the bullet points I just gave you.
Right.
That senior, you couldn't help seniors, but I can give these guys a 5% raise. But I can't help you, senior citizen making under 43,000 that's eating dog food or can't barely survive. I can't help you.
Right.
With a freeze, by the way, that don't cost to me anything.
It doesn't.
I'm just freezing you.
You're just freezing it.
You're still paying your taxes. I just can't raise them later.
Right.
Okay. Well, I shouldn't be raising them anyway. Vote was 15-2.
Yeah.
Anita Epperson was the only commissioner that voted no with me on that. And that did shock me, sort of. I'll be honest with you. I was kind of floored by it. And it sets yourself up for major tax increases next year.
Yeah.
If the lawsuit goes wrong, one or two things go wrong, the things that we've all discussed, you're looking at coming in and having that. You're going to get a raise this time. I'm telling you, off the appraisal that the county had nothing to do with. That will be some sort of increase. And then next year, you're looking at it with a new mayor and everything. They always think this, the first terms when they go after you. And I've heard them say it. You'll forget what we did in 4 years.
Yeah.
That's why you never see them want to do it in an election year. You always see them want to do it right when they come into office. That's why you voters out there need to be real careful and make sure that you don't get somebody in here that thinks that way. Hey, you know what? They'll never remember it in 4 years. They'll forget. And too often, David, we do.
I'll just be honest with you. I can't forget a tax increase because it hits me every year.
Right.
I mean, that just because it goes up in 2021, it's not going down in 2022 or 2023 or 2024 or 2025. As a matter of fact, some of those years have gone up a little bit here and there. But that big one that hit us back in, I guess it was 2022, maybe 2022.
Right after the second election.
It's still there. I'm getting the bill for it. I can't forget it. I don't know how anybody can forget it if you have to write a check.
Let's talk about, this was off script for me. I didn't even have it written down, but let's talk about the other little elephant in the room they want to tell you about.
Which elephant?
And I got some friends who want me, man, if we just had a wheel tax, we wouldn't have to do all this.
Yeah.
You've heard this one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You've heard this.
Yeah.
The wheel tax doesn't generate that much money. People that rent don't pay taxes. Okay, you people out there that are renting, I can assure you that your landlord, I don't care who it is, when the property taxes on your apartment or house go up, he raises your rent. You're paying for it.
Got to.
A wheel tax is just another tax. Back my first term, you'll find this interesting. I told Mayor Ray, I said, I'll support a wheel tax. Bill Anderson support a tax if you'll roll with property taxes by the same amount. Seriously.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, well, you can't lower them. Why can't you?
Yeah, you can. When you vote on that budget, it can go down.
Now, you get a wheel tax that starts at $25 with this bunch, you're going to turn around, it's $200, $400 in 8 years.
Yeah. And
it's not that much money, but in the aggregate of raising money, it's not that much money.
Yeah. All right. You and I both agree that taxes are bad. What you mentioned a couple things that could be done. What else do you see that could be done in the future to hold taxes where they are, or maybe ease back a little bit without dropping off services?
You don't have to drop them, but maybe some offices, now that we're going to online in some places, maybe you don't need as many people now that it's being done on the computer and Twitter. You're Twittering this stuff up. Maybe I don't need to go, so maybe I need less people.
Well, the state has websites that you can go and renew your car tax. They got a website you can go and pay your property tax.
And I'm not picking on any office. I'm just saying in general, with technology the way it is, maybe you don't need as many folks.
Automation.
Right.
Yeah.
Because trust me, if somebody can figure out a way, let's take Duxon out there. Let's pick on them a minute again. When they go to do something, do you think people are running that? Or do you think people are doing that out there?
No.
It's robots.
Yeah.
Nobody. It's a robot doing it.
Yeah.
Well, if you got a business and I can figure out how to make widgets with a robot, what am I going to do with my 8 employees over here?
They're gone.
In private sector.
Right.
Not the public sector.
No.
I said this before. I'll say it again. And I'm just going to say it. Back in the day when CalSonic was rolling, they could have closed their doors and 400 some people lost their job. And they just said, sorry about your luck. But if 10 government employees got laid off, you'd never hear the end of it.
Probably not.
It's just a different way of coming from things. When you've worked in a different environment like you and I, you've made a payroll, you had been responsible for other people. responsible for all these tons of other taxes that if you haven't run a business, I don't think
It's unreal.
y'all people don't understand what's there.
Yeah.
It's constantly something.
Yep.
It's always some little something.
Every day you come into some,
Whether it's
some
personal property or it's this or it's never ending.
Yeah.
Gross sales tax, this tax, that tax. You're running a business. It's just almost impossible. They're getting you all the time with it.
Since 2018, I don't know what the exact count, but have you seen how our budget has grown and
Yes.
how our workforce in the county has expanded, almost doubled, but yet our population
Right.
has not doubled.
I will go back to 12 years ago and give you a rough guess. And again, y'all can get me on some figures on this one, but I'm going to ballpark it.
Okay.
The mayor made about $80,000 a year. Now you're making probably close to 150, 100, somewhere in there. Not picking on the mayor, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Some other people was making about 75, now makes about 150. That's double.
Yeah.
A lot of the department heads were in the 60 range or whatever, 50, 60 range. They're in the 90 to 120 range now. I'm just ballparking it, but you look at those increases over the last 12 years and it's substantial.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say that in the private sector.
No, you can't. I promise you can't.
You just can't.
You just can't do it.
And that's the issue here. It's not saying nobody doesn't do a good job. We got great employees. That is not
Yeah.
what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, to be honest with you, probably the insurance is better, the retirement's better, now the pay's better than what you can get out here if you're me.
Oh, there's,
it just is what it is.
We did some figuring, and it goes back to last year's numbers. But if you took the average is different than median. You and I had
Right.
this conversation. Average means that the bulk of people, if you took everybody's pay and you looked at their salaries, the average person, average, not median. Now,
Right.
median is going to be a lot higher. It's going to be at about $18 an hour.
Okay.
That's average. Okay. That means some people are making 30.
Right.
There's some people making 10, 11,
Right.
12. All right. But the bulk is in that 1750 to 18 range. If you are paying salaries that are $25 and up and you're making 17, 18, your taxes are paying for that.
There's a discrepancy that's not It should be
You're
there.
headed toward bankruptcy.
right.
That's where you're headed.
And that's where I meant to mention this earlier about growth. And there's a couple of guys in that pack that'll agree with me on this one. You can grow yourself broke. Seriously.
Yeah.
All this rooftop guys.
Yeah.
Okay. If we were really, this was all this growth we've been seeing, we ought to be rolling in money right now, shouldn't we? We shouldn't be able to raise anything on anybody.
We shouldn't have to.
There ought to be
Shouldn't
money
have to.
everywhere.
Right.
But
All
the
right.
problem is they bring their children. You got to educate them.
Yeah.
They don't work here, don't have jobs. If they do, they work in Rutherford County, spend their sales tax money in Rutherford County. All you're doing is housing them
Yeah.
and educating their kids. And that math don't add up, folks.
No, it don't.
That's bad math.
If you have 2 kids in an average family, you're taking a big net loss on property taxes.
Yes. And
Because
then you're
we're
going to turn around
spending-
and we keep doing this. You're
Yeah.
going to build another $40 million school. I mean, you start looking at what this is costing y'all. You are growing yourself broke.
Right.
That's what you're doing. And
All right.
you can grow yourself broke.
All right. So got the election coming up in August. Early voting starts July 17th. Between now and then, Bill, what are you looking at? I mean, as far as the way the election turns out, I mean,
Well, I'm going to say this. And look at the camera. I'm not going to take any money. I've been offered money. I'm not going to spend any money. I'm not going to put out any signs. I'm not going to do robocalls. I'm not going to text you on your phone. I'm not going to do expensive mailers. And heaven forbid me come knock on your door, because I might shoot you. You come knock on mine. I don't want people knocking on my door. I think that's intrusive. A lot of people do it, so it's very effective. I got a 12-year track record. You know who I am. I always put the taxpayer first. I've never voted for a tax increase. I try to do what's best for everybody in our community, and I'm just not trying to pad the pockets of landlords and developers. And if that makes it negative and they're going to spend a bunch of money, go spend it. My name is Bill Anderson. I'm asking y'all for your vote. And I love Shelbyville. I love Bedford County. But I see us turn into Antioch, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be Antioch.
No, we don't.
Well, I'm serious. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and you're never going to be Franklin or Brentwood. And we're not being negative here. There's some great stuff going on here.
Oh,
That
yeah.
stuff going on at the square right now,
Yeah.
awesome.
Right.
Grindstone Cowboys, seeing the nice stuff on the square, half that's in my district. There's some really good stuff going on here.
Right.
Great stuff. But there's some other stuff going on when you drive around and look at it. And again, I see people building in floodplains, on
Yeah.
sinkholes, on rocky ground, And when I'm affecting whatever I'm doing is affecting the neighbor, there's your problem.
Yeah.
And are we looking at how does this affect David Thomas or Brent Kennedy? Before we do this, how does it affect Brent? We should have think about these things.
Yeah.
Because you're as important as the other one is. And you got to balance it out at some point.
Anytime you start turning dirt and you start building, I had somebody tell me, an old man that was in development, actually, he said, everything I build has an impact on the surroundings.
Sure.
Everything. It doesn't matter what it is. He said, if it's a ditch, if it's paving a driveway, or if it's building a house, it has an impact.
Right.
And that's the case. That's where we're at. Everything that we do as far as building and development.
Did you
has
get
an
rain?
impact.
Did you get a bunch of rain up here yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
The sun was out. It's raining. It was a lot of
Right.
rain. It was quick.
Right.
Did you notice how quick our streets flooded?
Yeah.
We got a water drain problem right here in town.
Yeah.
It don't
That's-
take about
that's
an
a-
inch rain
I know it.
and the roads are
That's a
flooded.
city issue. and it
Well,
has
I'm
to-
driving out to the
yeah.
Ag Center to
Yeah.
the meeting and all the roads were flooded out there. That's the problem with doing all this. You're not accounting for where the flow of water goes.
Right.
And instead of doing retention ponds, we do what's called the detention pond, which means the water stacks up for a minute and then it
it's
just goes
released,
straight and
yeah.
floods somebody else out.
Yeah.
I'm just redirecting where the flood's going.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could name you about 10 places like that right now.
So there's a lot of stuff that you're concerned about, and I'm concerned about, and the good folks at Bedford County are concerned about. The question is, are we going to elect people that will address those
Well,
issues?
And the question is, and thank y'all for putting out about the PAC, but if you want to know the people that are supported by the PAC, look at their properties, the ones that you know they own, and you'll see their signs. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Stacked up. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Go
Yep.
look, depending on who your landlord is, you'll see one of them signs sitting out there too. It just depends on who the landlord is. So that's what they're trying, it is what it is. Are you running for the betterment of the community? Are you running because somebody offered you 10 grand or 5? I don't know what the number was,
Yeah.
but I just think that's a bad business to get into. And I had somebody tell me this, said, well, at least it's on the up and up. Well, but everybody here the involvement of most all of them is to make money. That's why
Right.
they formed it.
Yeah.
They're wanting you to vote for them to make more money.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And I don't think that's the place of public officials to be out looking to make anybody money. We need to be
Right.
looking out for everybody to save the taxpayer money and to protect the rights of our citizens.
Right. That's what we're supposed to do, Bill.
That's the way I look at it. So
Yeah.
that's the way I've always looked at it. I'm not
Yeah.
going to change and I'm not going to vote for any taxes. And I'm not going to get out here and do the signs like I told you. I'm not going to do it.
All
I
right.
mean, it's just, and most of these signs, where are they anyway? They're where you can't see to pull out of somewhere. They're littering up the side roads or they're on public. They're not in people's yards. Most of them, most part of them are wrong.
Yeah, they're
Every
everywhere.
corner. Boom,
They're,
boom, boom, boom,
they're
boom.
everywhere. They're everywhere.
And I'm not going to do it.
All right.
But anyway, I encourage everybody to get out and vote. And District 6, I would appreciate you vote and continue to serve y'all 4 more years.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Thanks everybody for watching. We're going to have another edition of Meet the Candidates here real soon. This will be up on our website. If you'd like
YouTube.
to share it, and it'll be on YouTube, as
YouTube,
well.
Facebook.
Yep.
Twitter, Twitch,
Yep. All that stuff.
all that stuff.
Thanks for watching, everybody.